crochet snowflake is in 3 different rounds. Okay, so first of all, I'm using double knitting wool today, and I've got a 4mm crochet hook. You can use any type of yarn and the corresponding size hook that goes with it to make this crochet snowflake. So you can make them any size you like. All right, so first of all, we'll start by doing a magic circle. If you hold the wool in your palm of your hand like this, so the end is facing you, then wrap it around your first 2 fingers once, turn your hand over, and then cross that bit of wool over and then hold with your other fingers. You'll need to get your crochet hook then. Underneath that loop, grab that bit of wool underneath like that, and then twist it. Okay, this will secure the wool to your hook, ready for you to do a slip knot, which will then sort of secure the whole magic circle together. Okay, so you'll need to hold that twist in place with your thumb and forefinger. Remove your fingers from the magic circle, and then take your wool, yarn over like that, and then through the loop. Okay, this secures the magic circle to your hook like this. You can see it can get a little bit twisted, so the tail might go through the middle of the magic circle, which is what you don't want. Okay, you want that to be out like that, and you can always make the magic circle a bit bigger if you wanted to, so you just pull it. Okay, and then make sure it's secure. Oh, not what I just did. Make sure it's secure on to your hook like that. All right, so what we're going to do now is that we need to crochet 12 double crochet stitches into the magic circle. All right, so to do that, your hook goes in the circle, around, yarn over, bring that through, so you got your 2 loops, yarn over, and then through those 2 loops, and that's your first double crochet. Okay, and we need another 11 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you can see now as well is that it's starting to twist. You don't want that to happen, okay? Because when you pull the magic circle, it's going to get all twisted. You're not going to know what stitches are what, okay? So as you're going around, be careful and make sure that it stays flat. So you want all the V's on top to be the same way, and you want it to be sitting flat as well, okay? The easiest way to do this is to hold it with your thumb and your other fingers on your left hand. It can be a little bit tricky and a little bit fiddly if you're not used to it, but the more you practice, the easier it'll get, okay? So far I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got another 6 left. Another tip as well, if this is getting shorter, all right, so you're finding, oh, you know, I'm going to have enough of the tail left for the magic circle to do my stitches, you can just pull it a little bit, and it'll pull the stitches together, so you'll start to curve, but you'll have more of a tail then, okay? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, just 3 left. 11 and 12. Okay, so with this round, it's very important that you have 12. So I like to sort of take the hook out and double check that I've got all the stitches and it's all even, and all the, you know, the tops of the stitches are the right way before I pull the magic circle, so it ends up being a little circle. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Fab. So you want to count the V's on top, all right, and all the V's are facing the right way. Then to close the magic circle, if you hold the last stitch where it is, pull the tail, okay, and you don't want it to twist, so you kind of need to pull it in stages, give it a little tug every now and again. Okay, pull it quite tight. Alright, so it ends up with a circle. It doesn't matter if you can still see through it. Alright, you can pull it tighter if you want to, but that's alright like that. Okay, so take your hook again, and we're going to join the round with a slip stitch. So that very first stitch there is going to go through the top of the V, so you've got the 2 loops at the top of that very first double crochet. It might be a little bit difficult to start with, alright, so you might have to like twiddle the hook in, alright, like that, and then yarn over once and through, and then through that stitch as well. Okay, so that's the slip stitch done. So that's round 1 done. Okay, so round 2 now, we'll need to chain 3, and these chains are basically to set up for our treble round. So we're going to be doing trebles, all right, and the chain 3 is the same height as a treble stitch. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to treble in the same hole, all right, as that first DK. So it's yarn over once, and then in through that first DK, yarn over again and through, so you got your 3 loops, and then you want to go through the first 2 and then through the second 2, and as you can see they're the same height, so this is a little treble stack. Okay, and then we're going to chain 5, 3, 4 and 5. All right, this part now is, if you look on the Snowflake, it's actually like the setup for this area. Okay, so you'll end up with like a little flower at the end of round 2. So we'll need another 5 more of these little treble stacks. So what you need to do in here is skip 1 stitch, and you want to go into the next stitch now. So is yarn over into the top of that V, yarn over again, and then in through the first 2, into the second 2 loops, and that's your first treble. And we want to do another one in the same DK stitch. And then it's chain 5 and so on. Okay, so you come to the end of round 2, and it should look something like this. So you've got your 6 treble pillar stacks, and then you just need to join the round again with a slip stitch. Okay, so you want to go into the 3rd chain on the first pillar stack that you did, first trebles. So it's 1, 2, 3 chains up. Okay, and you want to go through the V. It is a little bit fiddly, but it will make all the difference to the pattern. Okay, if you can get in through there, even if it's just through one part of the V like I just did, and you slip stitch, it'll just join it, and it'll make everything look a lot more even when you come to do it. Okay, so there we go. So we join now in the round. So now we're going to go on to round 3. The pattern that you've got, so now we're going to go on to round 3. Okay, so first of all we're going to chain 1, and then it says chain 11. All right, the reason why it says chain 1 is that following on to the other parts of the snowflake, you actually double crochet that stitch. Okay, but to start off with, you need to do a chain. All right, so altogether on this first one it's going to be chain 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. All right, so you should have something looking like this. Just stop it from twisting as well. You always want to hold the front of the V's with your thumb and your second finger, okay? And you always want to count from the top down. So where it says slip stitch 8th chain from hook, you want to count 8 chains down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to go into there, and you're always going to go into the middle of the V and then out through the left hand side, okay? And then you do your slip stitch. So yarn over and then through that loop on your hook, like so. Okay, just pop it back on like that. So it'll end up giving you the first part of your little snowflake spoke. So on one that I made earlier, so that one there is this here. Okay, so we're now going to work our way up and then back down the spoke, and then we're going to work this part. Okay, so all of this part of the snowflake is round 3, and then we just keep repeating them. Okay, so the next part now, it says chain 10. So again, making sure your work and the V's are facing you. I'm going to chain 10 upwards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then again 8th chain from hook, so 8 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you want to go in through the middle and out through the left of that V. Okay, and then slip stitch. So yarn over and through the hoop like that. Okay, now it's chain 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And also another tip when you're chaining is to hold the wool close to the hook. It'll stop everything from like stretching, and it'll give you like a much more even chain. Okay, and plus it's easier to like navigate. It's not going to be as floppy when you're down here, so when you're up there it's going to be more tighter to the hook, and it's going to be easier for you to like yarn over and everything. Okay, so now once you've done your 9, you want to go back in to the slip stitch space, which is this space that you already did. Okay, so you're going to go in through the middle, out through the left, and then yarn over and through the hoop like that. Okay, now it says chain 7, so at this point you want to kind of turn the snowflake on its side, so you're working upwards. So you always want to be working up vertically. Okay, so again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then again slip stitch in the previous slip stitch space, which is this one. Okay, it does look like it gets a bit big, but when you go to block the snowflake, it'll all even out, and it'll look a lot better. Okay, at the minute it looks like there's a massive hole, okay, where you're slip stitching in the same space. But as you can see, like when you block it here, it's still a hole, but then all the other ones become more even, so it all looks like an even space then. Okay, all right, so that's chain 7, slip stitch in the previous space. So now we're just going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to be working downwards that way. So you want to be going in through the top of the V, or in through the middle, out through the left. Okay, same thing, and then yarn over and then through, and then into the next one, yarn over and through. Okay, it's just so that we're working our way down, back down the little crochet spoke. All right, and again, to make sure everything's not twisting, make sure that all the V's are pointing towards you. Can be a little bit fiddly, and the next thing then is do a slip stitch in that slip stitch space like that. Okay, so we're back opposite now the first little spoke that we did, and we're going to chain 7 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then in and out through the left, and then you want to slip stitch, yarn over So it should end up looking something like this. Now is slip stitch in the next 3 spaces. So again, we're going to be working downwards. So you can either hold it up vertical or that way, whatever way, but you want to go in the middle of the V and then out through the left or out through the top. So that's 1 slip stitch, 2 slip stitch, 3. Okay. Now 1 DC in the next treble space. So when you're looking at your, so if you take my hook out, when you're looking at your crochet snowflake now, you've got these treble stacks, okay? So the next treble space is the second one here. So you want to go into the top of it. So when you're looking at it from the top, you can see there's like a V. So you want to go in through there, okay? So if I get my hook with the loop, go. And then is it 1 DC in there? So it's, yeah, in through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then bring that through both loops, and that'll secure your first large snowflake spoke. Okay, now when it says 3 DC in the next 5 chain space, the 5 chain space is this one here, where you did your 5 chains to connect all of the treble stacks. So you want to go in through that space. All right, grab your wool, yarn over, bring it through, so you got your 2 loops, and then yarn over and bring it through those loops there, okay? And you want to do that 3 times. You may notice as well they start to like move across the chain space, and you think, you know, I can never get in as a 3 in what, you know, in there, because that's what the next part of the pattern is. But you can actually slide them down. So if you hold that stitch and pull those chains, okay, it might need to be a little bit, tug it, it'll actually move it down and give you more chain space. All right, so next part now is chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and then again in through the 5 chain space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and you can start seeing like our little snowflakes taking shape now. To finish this part of the round, you want to do 1 DC into the treble stitch. Okay, so it's going to be the first treble stitch here, and like we started this round, we did 1 chain. This is where now that chain gets replaced with 1 DC. All right, so in through the top of that treble, yarn over, and then bring it through those 2 loops, and that's the end of round 3. Okay, but you need to repeat this another 5 times, and then you'll get your 6 snowflake spokes. You should now end up, after you've done your 5 other spokes, you should have 6 altogether. So it should look something like this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see it is all curling and twisting and things. If I kind of lay it out flat, you can start to see the shape. The shape of the snowflake is there. All right, I'm just going to join this in the round. So if I get my loop back on the hook, and what you want to do is you want to go into the top of the treble here, and then yarn over and pull through, and then just do a slip stitch. Okay, so you can cut that off, and then just pull the remaining wool out like that. Okay, it's completely up to you. You can just do the slip knot and then weave it in, or you can do, I like to do another knot here. Just a basic knot, just so you know it's not going to fall apart. Okay, and then weave it in like so. So take my crochet hook and then turn it around to the back. All right, and to weave it in, you just want to go in amongst the back loops of your crochet. All right, you might find it easier to use a smaller crochet hook. All right, but like that. So I'll end up weaving it all the way down, and the same with the middle one as well. It has come undone a little bit here, so yours might end up having a bigger hole, and that's easy enough to correct. All you've got to do is just pull it. All right. You can always do a knot as well on the back one. Because it's all the same colour, it tends to hide very well. All right. And then just weave that in. So I'll just trim that off. Trim that there. Just get a smaller crochet hook. Okay, so using a 2mm one for this. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, really. You know, you just want to loop it through. So when you come to block it, then it'll be sitting tidy, and you won't have any loose ends. Okay, I like to bring this strand down to the middle. It just ends up being nicer, and you know, I found if I don't bring it down to the middle, so let's trim this off, I end up with little bits of wool poking out through here, the top strand. Okay, and then weave this part in here now. You know, the blocking process should hold everything in place as well. You are basically setting the wool in, okay? But I'll be going through the blocking process in a different video with you, okay? Can't seem to get my wool through. Right, try it again. There we go. Right through. Can be a little bit fiddly. And then I'll just do one more just to make sure. Okay, that'll do. Cut the end off. There we are. All the ends are tied in here. You see there's no loose ends. You know, if you do like it floppy, it's completely up to you, but once you block it, it will be a lot stiffer, and it'll hold its shape. So we'll end up looking something like this then. Okay, on this one I've added a little ribbon. You can do a ribbon, a bit of wool, anything you fancy really, to decorate it. And please see the next video now, and then I'll be showing you the whole blocking process then. All right, thank you very much. Bye.